Hey, what's up, everybody? So today I wanted to talk about the Electoral College and why the concept of the Electoral College is flawed and needs to be done away with. Now, in the most recent election, the 2016 election, which was last month, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote but lost the election. She has, as of me making this video, 2.8 million more votes than Donald Trump. And the reason for her not winning this election is because of the Electoral College. The Electoral College is basically a system that each state has a certain amount of electoral votes based on how many senators they have, which every state has two senators, and then based on how many congressmen and women they have. And they add those two together, and that's how many electoral votes they have. Now, the reason for this, or at least the reason that a lot of people support this, is because they say it gives representation to smaller states. And, like a state such as, North Dakota, Wyoming, where they have very, very small populations, will get 3 electoral votes at a bare minimum because even though they only have one representative or whatever, they still have 2 senators, and they still get 3 electoral votes at the bare minimum. And in doing so, based on the population, a vote in, let's say, somewhere like Wyoming might be worth, or electoral vote in Wyoming is basically the equivalent of 200,000 people voting, while as in California, Texas, or New York, that can be around 800 or 700,000 people. And you guys already see where I'm going with why this is unfair. Because I believe that to elect the president of the United States, it should be one vote, one person. And in our current system, that's not the case. In some states, clearly people's votes are worth more than others. And a lot of people disagree with me, saying that, well, that still gives representation to smaller states. But there's people in every state that voted for each candidate. There's people in California who worship Ronald Reagan, and there's people in Mississippi who have Che Guevara on their wall. But their voices are not heard because their state usually, is pretty much solidly goes one way or the other. And I think a benefit of getting rid of the Electoral College is that in doing so, the candidates will have to listen to the problems of all 50 states plus the District of Columbia. And, that can be a good thing. Because in Ohio, where I live at, I've literally saw events for each candidate, both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, probably, I would say, once a week. Within just Northeast Ohio. They even had the RNC here. And, the Democrats had the DNC in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And they spend so much time in these states, but, they neglect people in other states. And I think that's an issue, that if you got rid of the Electoral College, then they would, not spend so much time in one or two particular places. Now, Donald Trump will become our next president. It's unfortunate. I didn't vote for him. I voted for Hillary. I was a Bernie Sanders supporter in the primaries. When Bernie Sanders lost in the primaries, I was heartbroken. You guys can definitely see, if you go back in my video history, the amount of videos that I made regarding politics and in the support of Bernie Sanders was substantial. I was basically making videos related to politics every day, at least a couple of videos related to politics every single day. And then after Bernie Sanders lost, I don't want to say I lost interest, but that spark of I'm enthusiastic about this election was pretty much diminished. And hopefully in 2020, the Democrats will get their heads out their ass and actually fight for the people. And I think the way you do that is by having someone like Keith Ellison in head of the DNC. When I heard that, what's the guy's name? The BR guy. I really am, having a brain fart right now. Howard Dean, that's it. When Howard Dean said that he wants to be head of the DNC, I'm like, no, dude. Howard Dean was the Bernie Sanders like 10 years ago, but then he became a corporate, sellout pretty much. He's pretty much, a corporatist. And I don't think he is the right person to be leading the message of the Democratic Party if they want to succeed in 2020. But you have people like Nancy Pelosi, who is the House minority leader, saying that the Democrats don't need to go in a they don't need to change the direction they're going into. I mean, it's like they live in the Capitol District in the Hunger Games, and they don't understand how the people in the outer districts are living. I mean, I'm doing pretty well myself, but you go to some places in the Rust Belt Midwest, and it looks like post-apocalyptic, or a post-apocalyptic, I said that wrong, movie or whatever. I mean, abandoned steel mills, abandoned factories. People are unable to find jobs. It's a lot of despair, and a lot of people on the coast are sort of sheltered from that because the economies of New York and the northeast part of our country, then also the west coast of our country, is so huge that it's like most people are probably doing pretty well out there compared to people that live in the Rust Belt. So I think if the Democrats want to, what's the word I'm looking for? If they want to, become the party of the working class again, then they need to focus on grassroots efforts, get rid of the corporate, money. Things like that need to happen. I was personally rooting for Tim Ryan. That's actually my Congress person from the district that I live in. Like he's a congressperson of my district. So he's a very cool guy. I think I met him before, and he's really. I like him. So I don't know. But other than that, yeah, that's my views and opinions on the Electoral College. Please comment below and tell me what you guys think. I know I've been talking for quite some time now, but I just wanted to make this video to state my opinion. So that's all I have to say. Subscribe, like, comment, and have a nice evening. Peace.